Macmillan Audio presents Each of Us a Desert by Mark Oshiro. Read by Frankie Corzo. It always began at night, when you had disappeared. And when you were gone, we came alive. I am your cuentista, Solis. I had been raised to take the stories of others and return them to you in ritual. But I had none of my own. I also ran away. I left behind Empalme, mi familia, you, myself, and I ran. I should have spoken to you long ago, but I couldn't. I needed to be free, and I'm not sorry. So let me tell you a story, Solis. We met the others at nightfall on the western side of Empalme, past the square and beyond the well. It was where Julio and his men had made their camp over a month ago. We ignored them as we passed, but I could see them watching us as we went by, the fire lighting up their dour, bitter faces. But they said nothing, did nothing, and we joined the rest of the celebration. Rogelio was there and already drunk, strumming his guitar dramatically while two women harmonized over it all, their voices a complicated dance of melody and sadness. They sang of leaving their husbands behind and making the journey across the endless desert together. Montamos juntos y nos hacemos uno, Amada sang, almost laughing as she made eye contact with her novia, Carmita. They were not the only sound in the clearing, as most of los aldeanos were spread around an enormous central fire. This was a celebration of our lives, of surviving another day in the scorched and unbearable world that you left for us, a respite from your harsh stare. Even without you in the sky, though, las estrellas were many, were brilliant, and they cast a glow over all. I weaved through the crowd, holding the basket out, offering our tortillas for others. I had helped Mama make them earlier that evening as you set in the west. We had formed a line behind our home, my parents and I, with my brother Raúl at the end, working as the earthy scent of the first burning coals floated up to my nose. Mama made her tortillas thick and crispy around the edges, la masa blooming into a savory taste on the tongue. She kissed Papa, ran her fingers through his long hair, then yelled at Raúl, who had let one of the tortillas linger on the heat for too long. It was an important part of our daily ritual. We all took something to our village gatherings. None of it was sold. This was our offering to one another. La Señora Sánchez came with her guisado de cabra, and I could smell the spices from across the clearing as she filled bowls with a hot, savory stew. People greeted one another, perhaps not so loudly as usual, our voices thick with increasing worry since Julio's arrival in Empalme. But we were still here, still alive, and this tradition had lasted for many, many years, since long before I was born. At night, there was a great sense of freedom, but as was usually the case for me, it came at a cost. I had already made my way to the other side of the fire, greeting Lani and Omar, when Rogelio stumbled over, nearly crashing into me. Cuentista, cuentista, he slurred. I saw Lani roll her eyes at me. Rogelio was always like this. Cuentista, I need you. I know, I said, exhausted. But not now. It is barely nightfall. I will find you later, he said, smiling, a dribble of spit slipping out of the corner of his mouth. I'm sure you will, I muttered. Lani reached a hand out. We do appreciate you, Xochitl, she said, her light eyes reflecting the...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?